Hello, I'm Robin Bilazarian. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, as is my colleague. She's also a licensed clinical social worker. That means that we are licensed practitioners that work with adults and children. And can you introduce yourself?
Yes, hi, my name is Angela Mathis, and today we will be talking about tapping, and another name for tapping is the emotional freedom technique. The goal for today's video is to give you tools to help decrease the anxiety in your anxious child, so you and your anxious child can both find peace.
So we believe that when anything happens to your child or to you, that we react to it in 4 different ways. We react to it with a thought, like we worry that there's a bug in our room. We react to it with an emotion, I'm terrified of bugs. We react to it physically with perhaps a tight chest, pressure in our chest, perhaps stomach, maybe even shoulders, and with a behavior. And the usual behaviors are fight, flight, freeze, flop, and foggy brain. But there's other behaviors too. There's clutching and screaming and walking away and ignoring it. And what happens with the anxious child is the emotions and the physical reaction are just too large to handle. And I don't know anything better than the emotional freedom technique or tapping to help with the over-response of the anxious child.
So where did tapping and emotional freedom technique come from? We are actually tapping on acupressure meridians. Here is a drawing of what acupressure meridians look like in the body. We are using the same theory base as acupuncture, which is 2,000 to 5,000 years old in Asia.
So we're going to show you the tapping points in just a second, but the question always is what do you do for the wording? So you can use the main issue, and so the main issue might be, I have a test tomorrow. You can tap on the emotion, which is, I am worried about the test.
You can use their exact words. You can add some of your relevant words too, especially if they seem to be in agreement. Or if you see the person nodding, that's an indication that whatever you're saying feels more truer to how they feel. So you can tell the story, you can tap while they tell you the whole story, and you can pause to tap even more on specific emotional points. So if you see during a certain point of the story that the person seems to have a uprising of emotions, then you can tap a little bit more on those points.
Here are the points. We wanted you to see the points. And you may come back to this slide because this is where the points are. And by the way, it can be tapping or it can be light touch, and you'll get to see both of those today. We are going to show you 2 demos on how you might work with your child. And we don't want to use a real child because we feel that that may violate their confidentiality. And it's one thing to show a picture of a child, but it's another thing to ask them to talk about their issues in a public forum. So Angie and I are going to pretend to be children. For me, that's going to be very easy. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Robin. So what are you here for today? What's going on?
I am afraid of bugs. I don't like them. I'm afraid they crawl on me. I'm afraid that they are creepy. I don't like bugs.
Okay. Well, from a scale from 1 to 10, or if you could use your hands, and this means really afraid, and this means a little bit of afraid, how afraid are you?
Really afraid.
Really afraid. Okay, great. So we're going to try to help you to not be so afraid. Is that okay?
Yes,
all right,
please.
So we're going to start with this karate chop point. And even though I have this fear of bugs.
Even though I have this fear of bugs.
And I'm really scared.
And I'm really scared.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
And I'm a good kid.
And I'm a good kid.
This fear of bugs.
This fear of bugs.
I'm really afraid of bugs.
I'm really afraid of bugs.
I'm afraid that they may get on me.
I'm afraid they may get on me.
Or crawl on me.
Or crawl on me.
I'm really afraid of bugs.
I'm really afraid of bugs.
I don't want to go anywhere near them.
I don't want to go anywhere near them.
They look so creepy,
They look so creepy,
especially the way they crawl.
especially the way they crawl.
I'm afraid that they're going to bite me,
I'm afraid they'll bite me,
and it might hurt.
and it might hurt.
I'm really afraid of bugs.
I'm really afraid of bugs.
I just don't want them near me.
I don't want them near me.
This fear of bugs.
This fear of bugs.
This fear of bugs.
This fear of bugs.
I'm really afraid of bugs.
I'm really afraid of bugs.
They look very sneaky.
They look very sneaky.
I'm afraid that a bug might crawl on me at night.
A bug might crawl on me at night.
When I'm asleep. What if a bug gets in my room?
What if a bug gets in my room when I'm asleep at night
And crawls in my ear,
and crawls in my ear
or even up my nose?
or even up my nose?
I don't know what the bug may do.
I don't know what that bug might do.
I'm really afraid of bugs.
I'm really afraid of bugs.
Dad says I'm being unreasonable,
Dad says I'm being unreasonable,
but I don't think so.
but I don't think so. They're really creepy.
Yeah, I think they're dangerous.
I think they're dangerous.
But when I really think about it,
But when I really think about it,
I am much bigger than the bugs.
I'm much bigger than the bugs.
I mean, if I really wanted to,
If I really wanted to,
I could probably step on it,
I could probably step on it,
even though Mom says it's not nice to kill bugs.
even though Mom said it's not nice to kill bugs.
I'm still bigger than the bug,
I'm still bigger than the bugs.
and I'm actually even faster than the bugs.
I'm faster than the bugs too.
And the bugs really don't pay much attention to me.
And the bugs really don't pay much attention to me.
I pay more attention to the bugs than the bugs pay attention to me.
I pay more attention to the bugs than the bugs pay to me.
Okay, great. So, you could just take a deep breath and in and out and whew. Okay, so how are you feeling about the bugs now?
Nothing. They don't bother me at all because I'm so much bigger than a bug. And I could step on a bug, even though Mom doesn't like the idea. I could, and I would. Okay. And they're not, we don't even have many because even in the summer we have screens and many don't come in, you know, so it feels kind of silly that I was afraid of bugs. I don't know why I was so afraid. Also, I feel very calm. I actually want to yawn a little bit. I feel very calm.
I'm glad you feel better.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so thank you, Miss Angie.
You're welcome.
So Miss Angie's now going to become younger Angie, and Angie's going to be 14. And Angie has a big test in math this week, and Angie's going to tell us about that. Like, what is your worry, Angie? And I might even write down what she says so that I can use some of her own words. So, what are you worried about in taking this math test this week?
I'm worried that because I failed 2 quizzes, that I'm going to fail this test. I'm also worried about disappointing my father. And I'm a little worried about getting into the college that I want to get into.
Sure. Yeah, those are all legitimate. So think about how worried you are about this math test this week, and think about it for 5 seconds. And 0 to 10, how worried are you?
About a 7.
About a 7. And as you think about that, where do you feel that worry in your body?
I feel it in my shoulders and in my stomach.
Okay. All right. So let's follow me. Okay. And I prefer the light touch, but you can do either. Okay.
Okay.
Even though I'm worried about this math test this week.
Even though I'm worried about this math test this week.
I'm really an awesome kid.
I'm really an awesome kid.
I'm worried about this math test.
I'm worried about this math test.
This math test has me worried.
This math test has me worried.
I'm afraid that I'm not going to pass.
I'm afraid that I'm not going to pass.
I'm afraid that I'm going to disappoint my father.
I'm afraid that I'm going to disappoint my father.
I am worried about this math test.
I am worried about this math test.
I'm afraid I won't get into the college that I want to.
I'm afraid that I won't get into the college that I want to.
And I really do want to go to college.
And I really do want to go to college.
Math has never been my favorite subject.
Math has never been my favorite subject.
Um, and it's hard for me to even study it.
And it's hard for me to even study it.
I'm just not in love with math.
I'm just not in love with math.
And I'm worried about failing this test.
And I'm worried about failing this test.
I did fail a couple of quizzes.
I did fail a couple of quizzes.
And my father will be disappointed if I don't do well.
And my father will be disappointed if I don't do well.
And I really want to do well.
And I really want to do well.
And I just don't know if I can.
And I just don't know if I can.
And I'm worried about that.
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 And I feel that tightness in my body too.
And I feel that tightness in my body too.
I feel it in my churning stomach.
I feel it in my churning stomach.
And my tight shoulders.
And my tight shoulders.
And we could do another round on the negative, but I'm just going to do another round on I'm going to do a round on the positive. You know, I think I'm going to study for this one.
I think I'm going to study for this one.
I think I got most of the concepts.
I think I've got most of the concepts.
And that one that I'm not sure of, I can ask a friend to explain it to me again.
And the one that I'm not sure of, I can ask a friend to explain it to me again.
I'm going to try hard this time.
I'm going to try hard this time.
And I think I've got this.
And I think I've got this.
And I'm going to study a little bit more.
And I'm going to study a little bit more.
And I think I'm going to be okay.
And I think I'm going to be okay.
I think I'm going to be okay.
I think I'm going to be okay.
But I am just a little worried.
But I am just a little worried.
But I think I'm going to be okay.
But I think I'm going to be okay.
And I think I'm going to be okay.
And I think I'm going to be okay.
Angie, tune into your worry about taking this test and think about it for 5 seconds. And how worried are you now, 0 to 10?
A 3.
Okay, and do you feel it in your body anymore?
Actually, my shoulders don't feel as tense. No.
Okay, and your stomach?
No.
Yeah. Okay. So to the parents at home, we've just been doing these demos, and we want you to know that truthfully, you could almost do it. They call it TTT, trauma tapping technique, and they do it all over the world without words. And so you could actually do it without words, because what you will do is quiet down the tightness and the body. So before we go, we just want to show you one more time that slide where all the points are. And we wish you well in working with your anxious child. Angie, what kind of students do you work with in terms of working with anxious children?
Oh, I've worked with children who've been afraid of thunderstorms, children who are afraid of the dark, children who are afraid of going to school or peer pressure, a whole range of issues. I've been successful with using emotional freedom technique or tapping for anxiety.
Yeah, and me too. I've even worked with children that have had horrible things happen and trauma and even some bullying. So we hope you like these techniques, and you can certainly find more about them by Googling the Emotional Freedom Technique, tapping, or Angela and I. Bye.
Bye.